Hey, what's going on guys? Chad here, and this is the Finalmouse Tenz Edition. I've officially had this mouse for 3 weeks now. I've used it as much as I could, trying to get as much playtime on it and just regular use and everything. I feel like I know this mouse pretty well now, and I'm ready to give like my full long-term review. Let's be real, you guys already know most of the specs about this mouse. It's the same shape, same sensor, same clicks and all that stuff. The clicks are better on this copy than my previous 2 copies, but you know, spec-wise everything is pretty much the same. So far the wireless and sensor performance has been absolutely perfect. I've had no issues with tracking or disconnecting or weird lift-off distance issues like I had with my very first Finalmouse. None of that stuff's been going on. I do have a couple issues that are minor that I'm going to talk about. Seems like the Tenz Edition has the best build quality of all the mice that they've released so far. Now that's based off of my experience, but also some people online that I know that I've talked to that have these mice. Most people are not having issues with them. I've still seen a few people that have lift-off distance issues and also issues with the DPI button. And then of course there's a couple scroll issues out there and you know, just kind of the normal QC stuff that happens with Finalmouse and just mice in general. You know, it's not specific to Finalmouse. But I have to say, the drop on this mouse, they released like 40,000 units and it was way easier to get a mouse this time. So if you're like, you didn't buy a mouse because you thought it was gonna be impossible to get one, that was not the case this drop. These mice were sitting up there for a while and I was able, I think I was like 20 minutes late to the drop and I still got one, which is pretty crazy. The medium sold out quickly and then, you know, I got a small, they lasted longer. And that's what I wanted this time anyways, because I really like this size better. But overall, the drop experience was not stressful. It was easy to get one and I'm really glad that they were able to provide more units for everybody. So I've seen a lot of people asking if the shape is different, and no, it's not. It's the exact same shape, but what's different obviously is the colorway. And this one is silver with the black stripe going down the back, which looks really nice in my opinion. One of my favorite changes is there's no longer etching on buttons 1 and 2, so it's nice and smooth and it feels good when you're using it versus having those weird lines that were just kind of awkward and not very comfortable in my opinion. And if you're wondering, I have not ever felt the Starlight font on the right side of the right button. It does not get in my way at all while using this mouse. I have not felt it one time. Thought I was going to, but luckily I haven't. So far the wireless performance has been fantastic on this mouse. I've had no disconnects, no stuttering, no lagging, nothing like that. And the battery life has been great. I've had it for about 3 weeks now and I just had to charge it yesterday for the first time. The sensor's performance has also been fantastic. I've had no issues while tracking or flicking. I've used this mouse with every mouse pad I own and everything has felt fine with. So inside the box, you get the mouse, the dongle, the cable, all that normal stuff. But now they also give you these infinity grips, and these things are fantastic. They give you 3 different sizes in the box. You get 1.2 millimeters, 2 millimeters, and 2.5 millimeters. Personally, I like 1.2 the best because I really like the shape and size of the small, and I don't want to alter that too much. And with the 1.2s, it does feel relatively close to the stock shape and size, so I prefer those for sure. But all 3 of these are fantastic depending on what you want to do with them. I haven't felt slippery on any of these grips one single time, no matter what the situation I was in. Whether I was completely bone dry or a little bit sweaty in a competitive game, they've been rock solid and there's no need to go buy aftermarket grips whatsoever. And not to mention, when you put these on, it looks super clean on the mouse. Like I've never seen a more clean setup on a mouse with grips. Normally I don't like grips because they don't look very good in my opinion. They kind of ruin the natural aesthetic of the mouse. But also, most grips just don't feel that good to me. And honestly, these are some of the best that I've ever used. Somebody asked me in the comments if these are reusable, and yes they are. I've taken the 1.2s off like 7 to 8 times now at least, just testing out the durability and how easy it would be to reapply it and have it stick. And you know, at about the 7th time of taking it off, I felt like the corners weren't sticking quite as good, but it's totally still fine and usable. So I think these are definitely reusable, they're definitely high quality, and they're gonna last you a long time. The weight here is exactly the same as the other mice, nothing's new there. I got a small this time around and it weighs in at 45 grams, but the build quality is a little bit better on my Tenz Edition than my Phantom and my original Starlight 12. This copy has absolutely 0 side flex and 0 creaking. The bottom feels very sturdy with minimal flex also, which yes, this is still plastic down here guys, so you don't want to like sit here and death grip this. But when I squeeze on it, it feels very well made and very solid and put together well. My copy has developed a little bit of rattle if I shake it like side to side like this, but if I go up and down like that, nothing happens. And the rattle is very minimal and very slight, but I'm just letting you guys know about it. The back right side button has a lot of pre-travel and it kind of makes it feel like it's loose a little bit. It works just fine, but it could feel more premium if it was a little bit tighter with less pre-travel on there. The scroll wheel is actually centered. I could not believe when I opened the box, and it actually works too. I don't have accidental inputs like I did on my Starlight 12 and my Phantom, but you know, it still feels like a very cheap scroll wheel overall. Like, especially if I'm using it slow like this, if I just do slow turns, it feels so crappy. Like, it's so cheap feeling. Now, if I do quick scrolls like this, then it's fine, and I don't really notice it too much. It's easy to spam in game like this, so I've had no issues with that. But honestly, like, the scroll is the most disappointing thing about this entire mouse, and it just feels like it's waiting to break. Like, they just need to do something about these scrolls and make them a little bit higher quality. They're just not good compared to other mice that are coming out in 2022. Yes, this one actually works, thank God. It's the first time, but you know, it could be better. Now, luckily, buttons 1 and 2 are absolutely fantastic on my copy. They feel so light and crispy and poppy, responsive. They bounce back so fast. They sound great too. They feel great. They're very satisfying. The right button has a little bit more post-travel than the left, but it's not a big deal at all. It doesn't bother me in any way, shape, or form. So let's go ahead and do a sound test really quick so you can see how all the buttons sound. Alright, so hopefully you can tell what I'm talking about with the scroll being a little bit rattly still, and the back button having a lot of pre-travel. Again, not a huge deal, but it could definitely be better. Now, I've had a lot of people ask me if they should buy this or the G Pro Superlight, and in general, if you're asking that question, I would say go buy a G Pro Superlight, just because it's a more well-rounded mouse and it works for more grips and hand sizes than this mouse does. Now, if you know what grip you use and use a claw grip or a fingertip grip, then I would say this is a better shape, and I definitely perform better on this mouse than I do like a Superlight. But in general, the Superlight is a much safer shape. It's still a really good mouse, a really good weight, and overall it's just a safer bet. So if you're not sure what kind of grip you're using, or you're not sure which mouse you want to get, I would just say go grab the Superlight. So yeah, other than that, I don't really have much else to say. It's pretty damn good, and I'm going to keep it on my desk for now. If you guys have any questions about it, hit me up in the comments and I'll try to get to it when I can. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.